But here's the bottom line. This is a good day. Doesn't matter whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. Doesn't matter who you're going to vote for in 2.5 weeks. It really doesn't. This is a good day for this community, as the mayor said. It really is. This is, and it's interesting because it's on days like today, that this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Well, I'm telling you, with the blue skies, crisp air, good news, there is much to be joyful for, much to celebrate, and everybody in this community is going to be better for this. But guess what? It's not just for this community. It's our whole state. This is going to address issues that we have in our state with our prison systems, where we frankly have a fair amount of overcrowding in some of our county jails, even some of our state facilities. We have facilities that have struggled to keep pace with the maintenance through the years due to dereliction under previous administrations. The net result of this is that this facility and our ability to lease this and for the state to run this and to be able to employ people in this community is going to make a powerful impact on the economy. And it's not going to be just this county. It'll be Knott County, Pike County, surrounding counties, people coming in, people employed, dollars going back into these communities. And that's really what this is about. It's a chance for us to celebrate an opportunity to bring things into a community that are needed. And that frankly, this isn't patronage, this isn't feeling sorry for people, this isn't, gee, wish we could give you a handout. This is you providing for us at this state something that we desperately need, that this community has to offer. And we're grateful to you for it. These are taxpayer dollars that are going to be invested and that are being paid for by taxpayers are coming back into communities in the form of employment. So I want you again, I'm going to, in a moment, I'll read from here this executive order, and then we'll kind of, unveil this. We'll have an announcement. I want to do that. But let me have a couple other folks. If you want to come up and speak, I mean, as a man who grew up literally overlooking the spot where we stand, I think you of all people should weigh in on this.
Well, I thank you, Governor. I certainly appreciate it. I appreciate it. First, I want to start out by welcoming you folks to Floyd County and Wheelwright. This is my home. My mom and dad's house right there on the hill. That's where I was born and raised. I'd never thought 2 years ago that I'd ever be doing this. Had a good life, working every day, good businesses doing great. Never thought I'd be in politics, but here we are. And this is such a joyous occasion. But I want to tell you a little something about this community. We're resilient. These people are fighters. They're going to make it. My mother's sitting right there. Hi, Mom. This is personal for me. These are my folks. But this is a regional investment. This just isn't a local investment. This is going to impact so many counties. We have folks that worked at this prison previously from Pike County, Letcher County, Knott County. This is a regional investment. This is also a huge investment for this community. Mr. Stevens, I don't want to steal your thunder here, but how many jobs did you say earlier this is going to create?
Just under 200.
Just under 200 jobs. And the jobs fair is going to start next week. So this is for real. This is happening. These are going to be real jobs in our community, for our people, and for Wheelwright and Floyd County. So thank you all for coming out. I appreciate Governor Bevins. I appreciate the Commissioner for coming out for the Department of Corrections, Ms. Kinney. And hopefully we can get some folks to work here in just a few days. And thank you for coming out. I appreciate it.
I'm going to just speak briefly of how excited we are in the Kentucky Department of Corrections to be activating this facility. It will bring much needed relief to the overburdened jails, and it will provide the bed space for those who are currently in jails awaiting to come into a DOC bed. I think it's important to note that we are not going to be removing any inmates from jails who are statutorily required to be housed in those jails. And we know this is just a first step in reducing the backlog and we are continuing to explore other housing alternatives. The Southeast State Correctional Complex, which will be the name of the new facility, will be a state prison in every way other than the ownership. It will mirror all our other state prisons with regard to programming. We plan to have a substance abuse program there and other evidence-based programs as well. Additionally, we're going to have some vocational programs like carpentry and other things we hope to bring back to the community. Inmates will arrive at this facility in one of two ways. First, we will start by moving some DOC inmates into the facility, and that will create space at our Rotor Assessment Center, we will then backfill those beds with inmates coming in from the jail. So I can tell you the activation of this facility is DOC's top priority.
This is an executive order relating to the reorganization of the Justice and Public Safety Cabinet, because what it takes is an actual readjusting of the way in which things are done in order for this to work. Whereas this administration desires and will implement more effective and efficient management of state government operations, and whereas greater efficiency, economy, and improved administration will result from the alteration of current organizational units as set out in this executive order, and whereas the organizational changes set forth in this executive order will enhance the provision of services to the citizens of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and whereas ensuring the safety of our corrections staff and the inmates under the custody and care of the Department of Corrections is of the utmost importance, and whereas we recognize the challenges faced due to increased prison populations and the necessity to provide adequate space and facilities to meet the needs of those inmates in the state's custody, and whereas while inmates await transfer to state facilities, they do not have access to drug treatment or vocational training programs, which contributes to recidivism and prevents them from earning sentencing credits, and whereas the opening of the Southeast State Correctional Complex will provide needed space for our prison population in an existing facility that will be under the operation and control of the Department of Corrections, and whereas the opening of the Southeast State Correctional Complex will help alleviate issues associated with increased prison populations in other state correctional complexes, improving the operation and safety of those facilities, and whereas up to 200 new state jobs will be created through the opening of the Southeast State Correctional Complex, and whereas, the last one, the opening of the Southeast State Correctional Complex will provide economic opportunities to the community of Wheelwright and to the surrounding communities in Floyd and Pike and Knott County. Now therefore, I, Matthew G. Bevan, Governor of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Constitution, Sections 69 and 81 and KRS 12.028, do hereby order and direct the following organizational changes within the Justice and Public Safety Cabinet. Number one, the Southeast State Correctional Complex is hereby created within the Office of Adult Institutions, Department of Corrections, and shall be headed by the director appointed by the Secretary of the Justice and Public Safety Cabinet pursuant to KRS 12.050, who will report to the Commissioner of the Department of Corrections. And number two, the Justice and Public Safety Cabinet, Finance and Administration Cabinet, Office of the State Budget Director, and the Personnel Cabinet are directed to initiate all actions that are necessary to effectuate the provisions of this order. And this order is effective on October 18th, 2019. And in just a moment, we will sit here and sign this officially into law. And if I will ask folks to come gather on up here, this is a great day for this community. It really is. All right.
There were many different moving parts between different cabinets. It involved the Personnel Cabinet, it involved the Justice Cabinet, the Public Safety Cabinet. And so in order to be able to do things, we had to restructure government. And so I did that by executive order just so that we could actually make it happen. And it serves two purposes. It actually helps to alleviate overcrowding that we have throughout the state in certain facilities. We have about 37 facilities that are about 140% of capacity, and about 10 facilities where we're almost, in some instances, like 200% capacity. And so that's not ideal for a couple of reasons. It frankly robs you of the ability to truly be able to provide for those inmates with the services that we want them to have so that they can re-enter society. So by relieving that pressure, opening this facility, it helps us better serve our prison population, but it also creates economic opportunity in a first-class facility in Floyd County.
So the overcrowding was the primary reason why you wanted to do
It was the
this?
catalyst. It's something I've been working on. If you remember, from when I first got elected, one of my very first State of the Commonwealth addresses, I said, I'm not building any new prisons. I'm not. So we have to figure out how do we have fewer people in our prison system. One of the things, frankly, we're going to have to do is start to diverting people earlier in a rehab program. So many of the people that are in our prison system are there for addiction. And the prison really isn't the best place for them to get the services and the help that they need. That's a whole nother issue. But in the meantime, I said, I'm not going to build new prisons, but where do we have prisons that we can move people to? And this was a private prison owned by a private company, but it's not going to be run by them. The state is leasing it from them. It will be a state-run prison, part of the state prison system. It will be run by us, but we'll be leasing it from this company.
Is that effective today?
Well, no. I mean, we're just starting the hiring process next Monday. It'll be effective probably the start of the year. I mean, in other words, probably January, February, we'll start to move people in. But we'll start the hiring process. It'll be effective once the staff is in place. We'll get the staff in place in the next 2 to 3 months.